30-second dance party.
Am I on the right podcast?
Who?
Yeah. I don't know. It's catchy. I could dance to it.
It's like the longest 30 seconds of your life, too.
Your girls love that.
It is. It's still going.
It's still going. Yeah.
All right, I gotta.
No, wait. You gotta wait. It's still going. If you're not dancing,
we can't stop. Okay, should I get up and dance?
Wait. Okay, it stopped.
stopped.
All right.
It
Okay.
stopped, yeah.
It totally stopped.
We're done
All right.
dancing.
All right, this one's for you, Jody. This one's for you.
Okay.
How do you know when a man is about to say something smart?
He he shuts his mouth. I don't know.
Oh.
He starts the sentence with, "A woman just told me,"
Oh, nice.
or "A woman once told me." I
Nice.
screwed up the punchline.
That's okay. It still worked. You shouldn't have said anything. Nobody would have known.
Exactly.
All right, today we have a return guest from episode 29, Jody Bartz. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jody Bartz. Jody is a longtime educator, a passionate advocate for disability. She's got 2 autistic nephews. She's got a PhD in special education, family studies, and human development from the University of Arizona. She's been a guide with Tanque Verde Ranch. She established and coached for 4 years a new team new NICA team in Flagstaff. She's an L1 BICP certified bike instructor. She is an L3 USA cycling certified coach. She's a ambassador for Live Cycling. She's a coach with Sonoran Endurance. She is an endurance athlete, a single speeder. Her catchphrase is "take the space." Her pet peeves are "atta girl." And she's the founder and executive director of Go Girl Grow. How'd I do?
Damn, that was good. Holy crap. That's
a pretty fucking awesome resume, man.
It is. I'm still reading it. It's amazing.
So a little bit about Grow Girl Grow.
Right.
First of all, the acronym stands for Gathering and Recreating Outdoors, Learning to Give Back and Be Responsible and Take Ownership.
100%. Nice. Yep.
And their mission is to increase the number of girls and young women in Tucson Vale and the surrounding areas who believe they're capable and strong athletes and outdoor leaders through safe and supported outdoor experiences. And their challenge is by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys. Girls have fewer outdoor opportunities than boys. Girls experience bullying, discrimination, and social isolation more than boys. Girls lack strong, confident female athletes and role models.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
That is a big problem.
It's weird, though. I totally agree with that. However, I'm just coming off a week of Olympics.
Right.
And like the girls are kicking ass.
Totally.
Like big time.
I know.
Like, aren't they? Like they are just.
I kind of feel like the Olympics is like a level set. Like I feel just as strongly about the male sports as I do about the female sports. Is that like
I don't know
normal,
if
or is that just Josh?
No.
I don't know. I just keep seeing like all of the women.
Right.
Like no joke. Like what guy? The one shot put guy. He's cool because I feel like we share a body type. And then, right. And then, but like Simone and like, God, I can't even remember her name, but the cyclist, she's awesome.
What about the
Kristen,
French? What about the French mountain biker who crushed it on a Pinarello
Pauline,
hardtail?
I know.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah.
She.
Oh no.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So I watched
yeah.
one race.
Not Pitcock. He did it on a he did it on a full
No, she did.
suspension.
Oh, did he?
She did it
Pauline.
on a hardtail.
That course was crazy.
There's a
too.
3-foot drop in that course. She did it on a hardtail.
The course was
Pauline,
crazy.
she's- I know.
Yeah.
Lady crush.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to the Pink Bike Podcast. If you go back a couple episodes, they interview Pinarello. I mean,
Yeah.
Pinarello designed those bikes specifically for
the Olympics.
for the Olympics, but for racing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are race bikes.
Yeah.
And they talked about her decisions coming up to like what bike she was going to choose. And like, he chose the full suspension. She chose the hardtail. I can't imagine doing that course on a hardtail.
I know. I saw that course, and as a downhiller, I was like, damn. Because we used to make fun of the cross country people because it's just a bunch of roadies, riding their bikes, and they don't need to have much skill. They just need to have fitness.
Yeah.
And downhillers are like the opposite. We're kind of round and heavy, and we go down real fast, but nothing scares us.
I'm not sure I could have cleared that course.
It was insane. Like some of those lines, and they were changing lines. There wasn't one set line.
Yeah.
So
Jody, how you doing today?
Yes.
I'm doing excellent.
Yeah.
My favorite, besides of course all the rad women, is pommel horse dude.
Which
I don't know what that is. What is that?
You don't know the USA men's Olympic team? They had one guy who is the specialist, and if I'm
Is this
getting
hobby horsing or is
no,
this?
no.
is this the one
Hobby
with
horsing. I'm totally going to do hobby horsing. I am totally into that. I think we need to bring it to Tucson. So
is this the two handles in the middle of the big
the pommel horse?
Yeah.
And there was a guy that
I don't even know what a pommel horse is.
Oh my God! You need to go Google it.
It's the thing with the two handles, and they do like everything usually with just their arms, and they're swinging their arms.
Is it a horse?
No, they just call it that because they put they straddle it from time to time. What about
Is this a gymnastic thing?
Yeah,
It is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. So gymnastics.
So it's like it's a flat bar with like two handles on it.
Right, but
Yeah.
it's more than a bar.
You've seen it.
Like,
Yeah.
you've
I'm
seen
in.
it.
I just didn't know what it was called.
Yeah. And
But-
they've always got pointy feet. So
Well, because they're in like a snuggie thing.
is that what that
Snuggie.
is?
Snuggie.
That would be awesome.
Like a onesie.
Is that the Olympic
This
snuggie?
is probably the first time that anyone's ever called it a Snuggie.
Oh my God.
You guys asked me back. So there we go.
So it's our fault.
Yes.
I'm tonight, late at
So
night.
tell us about the hobby horse. We cut you off.
No, it's not the hobby horse. It's the pommel horse dude.
Pommel horse.
It's gone now.
It's gone. We
Just,
lost
just
it.
Google pommel horse dude.
Pommel horse dude,
He
USA.
nailed it, and like USA brought home a medal and all this good stuff. But like that's all he does is pommel horse.
Yeah.
And so he's called like the specialist, and he's super cool. Yeah.
The
he's my jam.
only other guy
Yeah.
I know of that I can think of from I'm not super into the Olympics. Like
Right.
I'm not watching all day long.
Yeah.
Is
Right.
the guy from Turkey that shoots. So that
was
guy.
was he really shooting with a cigarette?
I don't think so.
I
I
know.
think they're photoshopping that in. But he did have his hand in his back pocket, and he didn't use like any apparatuses. And so that's, I think, what everybody was
Right.
like chiming in on. But man, the memes
I know.
online.
So, Jody, what's new in your orbit these days?
I got a new bike.
What'd you get?
Oh,
Yeah.
a live devote gravel bike.
Is that the one you rode over here
That
on?
is the one I rode, and I rode it through the Veil Vortex, which
It
was
didn't
super
look
sweet.
new. It looked dirty.
Well, that's like how a bike's supposed to look, right?
That's proper. All right. It is. I know. My husband's like, you put a freaking frame bag on that thing. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
a gravel bike. Like, yeah, it needs to go places. So
Yep. Yeah.
So I got a new bike.
Yeah.
And I started this nonprofit and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But just that little thing.
Yeah,
So-
just a little thing. So tell us how things are going. So when we had you in February of 23 was the last time we talked to you. You were like soft launching Grow at
Yes.
that time.
Yes.
How's it been going?
You said we have an hour.
We have as long as you want, you. It's all good.
So, I know it's crazy to think that I was getting ready to soft launch and kick it off in February 2023. I did 4 weeks, had a small group of families and girls just to try out logistics and kind of get a feel for the
Yeah.
program. Since then, we have served 77 girls
Wow.
Wow.
through programming.
So what does it mean to serve girls? We may
Yeah.
have some new listeners that didn't hear
Yeah.
that earlier episode. So what does it mean to serve
I know
girls?
I'm so close to it. So like pull me out of
Yeah.
the forest a little bit and
It's all good.
kind of
I
keep
got
me,
you. I'll pull you up. You're all good.
exactly. So grow is gathering and recreating outdoors. Girls learn how to give back, be responsible, and take ownership. So while we are not a mountain bike club, we're mountain bike centric because mountain bikes are cool, and it's really awesome to see girls out on mountain bikes. We are outdoor centric, and while we're not a race team, I fully support girls that do want to race because that definitely falls under the taking responsibility and taking ownership of maybe their grades and their training and those kinds of things. But we Grow is the after school program. And during the school year, we meet for what we landed on through the course of over 18 months is 6-week programs with what we call 7 adventures. So we meet once a week on, let's say, a Wednesday or Friday or something for about 3 hours. And then at the end of that 6 weeks, we have a Saturday adventure where the girls all get together and we generally go hike or we go do something. So 6 weeks, 7 adventures. 3 or 4 of those adventures are on mountain bikes. They by proxy get mountain bike skill instruction. So safety first. I mean, really, and the parents most certainly appreciate that. We generally hike one of those days. Then we are off bike and we are giving back generally through trail stewardship. So maintaining.
What does it mean for trail? What does trail stewardship mean?
Right. So it's young girls wielding trail tools, sharp trail tools.
Oh shit.
Oh, exactly. Which is freaking awesome because in the past I had partnered with the Arizona Trail Association, and Tasha with the Arizona Trail Association just really fell in love with our program. And it was really rad to see a woman come out and teach these girls how to use these tools. And safety first. They've got hard hats on, they've got gloves on, and they're out there actually maintaining trail. And then we also, we mountain bike 3 or 4 times, we hike, we give back to the trails. And then we always support a local business. And admittedly, I lean into women-owned businesses here in Tucson.
Right on.
We've done everything from, go to Joni B's and learn about skincare, and actually, we give ourselves like a little facial massage and like learn how to take care of our skin, to Roots Yoga has come and done private yoga sessions for us. We've gone to Homestretch Foundation. So just really supporting the rad ladies in the community.
How do you recruit the girls? Do you go to local schools and recruit those? Like, what's your process for recruiting the girls?
You know what? I actually haven't done, a lot of recruiting. When I first launched the program, I was relatively small, and I needed to stop saying I only work with 4 or 5 girls. I took the only out of that. We're a society that's conditioned to shrink down as women and say I'm only working with 4 or 5 girls, and I took the only away, and I've been really proud of like the depth of relationship, because I'm not just working with the girls, I'm working with their entire family. I've connected families to help carpool and those kinds of things. But it's been through word of mouth actually. So, and then the good old Instagram and the good old social media piece of it. What's super exciting is to see it growing. Every pun intended. For example, so Grow Girl Grow is the parent organization. I call it the mothership. And that's the after school programming. And then last summer, I didn't want to just sit idly by. Because
we don't ride a lot. Like outdoors is a little rough in the summertime for us.
Right. Well, it's either like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or it's at night. And shocking, like tween and teen girls didn't want to get up and meet me at the trailhead at 5 a.m. I don't know what the problem was, but when I tossed out the idea of riding bikes at night, girls jumped at it. So that became Shine Girl Shine. Yep. And that was like every connotation around girls shining, but also mountain biking, and at night and using lights and whatnot. Yeah. And so last summer, I had 6 girls all summer long that I rode with and taught them how. None of them had been night mountain bike riding before, or if they had, very, very limited experience. Yeah. And so we had 6 girls, had a great time. This summer, I had 17 girls.
Nice.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Like do the math real quick.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And so
do you have other adults that are helping you?
I do. I started Grow Girl Grow with 1 female woman volunteer. Right. 1. And
was that Ashley?
No, actually it wasn't. It was Justine.
Oh, okay.
So Justine.
Is that like are you calling out Ashley that she needs to help?
Yeah. No, Ashley is a volunteer. She
awesome.
is. Yes.
Yeah, she should work harder.
Yeah.
She probably liked that I said that.
Ashley, Dane said that. Jody did not.
Yes.
But I started with 1 volunteer, and I did not do any recruiting, just through the good old socials and word of mouth. Women started reaching out to me and started asking, what is this? Like, grow. Like, what is it that you're doing? How can I help? And so I now have, at last count, I have 17 or 18 women on my volunteer coach list.
Wow.
Which is
awesome.
Pretty freaking fantastic. Yeah. And so I feel like I'm not tapping out one particular volunteer all the time. They all get like the spreadsheet blasted to them, and I'm like, fill in your name where you can. So, and I'm like, I can pay you with a sticker and a smile, and some snacks, that's what I got to offer you. But the beautiful thing is every single volunteer coach, just through the organic nature of it, I haven't had to do any explaining, like, this is what we do. Like, they have come to it organically and they love what I'm doing. And so it's just really cool to watch. So yeah, I give them kind of the rundown of like, this is the process. And, my PhD, I got to have a little procedure and whatnot. I mean, but it's safety, safety things, but it's like, okay, you two are going to do the bike checks and this is how I do the bike checks and this, but then I let them go because I'm generally interfacing with the families and volunteer coaches generally don't want to do that, nor is that their responsibility.
Yeah. Yep.
So I get to interface with the families and they're connecting with the girls and doing all those cool things. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Jilly did this.
Yes.
And
she did.
Yeah.
And my two nieces did as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and she just blossomed as a rider because she doesn't want to listen to me. I go tell her to shift and do things, and she's
She
like,
does not
whatever.
want to listen to you.
Yeah, but with Jody, she listened to everything. One of the things
you did a good job because she's ripping right now. She's great.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what she can do on a bike. But one of the things she said is, Jody taught me not to say I'm sorry when I'm at the back of the thing. Not to say I'm sorry when I, go slower and things like that. She said, just thank people for waiting for me. So like she turned it around, instead of being sorry. And I was like, wow, that is awesome. That is one of those little things that people don't always notice. But when somebody is like, hey, thanks for waiting for me, is different than I'm sorry I kept you up. It's such a positive.
And the rule is actually, I mean, the girls know like safety first, helmets always, like all those things, right? I mean, I'm like the safety monitor, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But I tell them there's one rule. Yeah. It's no sorry, but you can say surprise.
Yep.
And so that's the rule. And so
surprise, we're waiting. I got a flat tire.
Right. Or so because our society is so conditioned to girls and young women and women just in general. Just like, no, I'll be at the back. I'm sorry. I'm really slow. I'm not, it's like, no. There's no sorry. You showed up today. You're doing your best.
Yep.
But you can say surprise. And so even if we have minor crashes, sometimes I generally lead from behind, so which means I'm at the very back.
You're sweet.
So because I'm mama hen and I want to make sure that everybody's making their way.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got walkie-talkies or two-way radios, and so we're always in communication. I'll let the ride leader slow down or whatnot, and but every once in a while, if we have a little minor crash, I mean, you might hear somebody go surprise, and then you hear surprise. Luckily, we've had no major injuries. A couple of Band-Aids have been busted out, but it's kind of this like pile up of surprises. But it totally changes the dynamic of the girls not coming to at it like apologizing for being slow or for holding somebody up or for their shoe coming untied or whatever it is. It's like, no, you're here, you're doing your best, you showed up.
It's such a great lesson for a young woman to learn early.
Yep.
To then ingrain into them and carry that forward, because I feel like the opposite happens too much.
Absolutely.
Where they're kind of it's it's not always intentional. I think like as a parent, like I definitely follow norms that I'm just used to. And so I just really liked that, and it just kind of clicked in my head. So I really appreciate that.
Can I steal that as a fat guy at the back of the trail?
You totally can.
Yeah.
I'm totally going to be like, thanks for waiting for me.
Well,
I say sorry like every ride, so
Right.
I'm totally
No, you
going
need
to
to
steal
say
that.
surprise.
We should all do that. We really should. It's a really good lesson in like, hey, you are who you are, and don't apologize for who you are, and it's okay, and just thank people for accepting you.
And that's really like applicable more than in this scenario. That's like applicable
everywhere.
in any
100%.
any case, dude.
I know.
love
I can get T-shirts made that say #surprise not sorry and sell them. There we go. Fundraiser.
Right.
Fundraiser. All right. I'm on it.
Put me
All
down.
right,
I'm on it.
we're in for 10 shirts.
Exactly.
We'll kickstart your offer. All right. Next question I have for you here. What actions have you found are most effective in hooking new young female athletes on mountain biking?
Oh, with energy. I mean, if you're passionate and stoked about what you're doing, like that spreads. So I mean, I will say that I've been told that is like,
no one's accused you of having lack of energy.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. My poor husband, Godspeed to him, right? So no, but when you are so passionate about what you're doing, that's contagious. So, and the girls, I think, instantly feel comfortable. It does help that I've been in education for 30 years.
Yep.
And so, and particularly in special education. So I understand what we call scaffolding, which is sort of building on skills. Mm-hmm. So, and meeting riders where they're at. So I tend to have a warm bubbly, vivacious, you know, what I mean, whatever word you want to use, like welcome. Yeah. So girls feel, I think, comfortable. So right away, I think, and that word spreads pretty quickly.
Energy.
So energy, but I think, I think it's just the energy around the bike, energy around, stoked being together, just like bringing the 30-second dance party, with the Flavor Flav necklace thing. It's like,
Can you play that again for us? I
100%.
just want to hear the dance party again. I think it's like a good interlude.
It's the longest 30 seconds ever.
We don't have to listen to the whole thing, but
30-second dance party.
We're all bobbing our heads.
Wait, see, it's contagious. Yep,
it's true.
It's like the stupidest, most awesome thing, right?
That's why do you think I bought it, right?
Yes,
it's like, and I found it on Instagram and connected with the owners.
I'm gonna change our music.
Well, there's this one on a gold chain, and then the other one sits in my red sequined fanny pack. And if you're lucky, you get to wear that one, and then you just hit it. And like the rule is, you have to stop wherever we are on the trail safely. Yeah. So it's but it's also, just think about like the skills there, right? Because we do have to suddenly stop on the trail. Yeah. So I'm teaching that, but in a fun sort of way. And then girls are out there dancing, and it's awesome. Yeah.
All right. So back to the question that I asked you originally about like what hooks.
Where are we going?
I don't know. This is what we do. You've been here before.
I know. I put it
new.
out of my mind.
It's been like a year and a half, and you're like, finally you forgot, and we got you back. All right. So the inverse of the question, the original question I asked you was like, what hooks them?
Right.
What's the inverse? Like, what actions have you found are least effective in hooking
snakes?
Well,
no, snakes are cool. We like snakes.
I almost lost Jilly because of snakes.
She liked him when she was with me. I'm just saying.
What turns them off to the sport?
Probably crashing. That's a big one.
Add a girl?
Oh God, don't do that. No, add a girl, please. I know. Oh, you're so good. Oh, can we talk about trail chads?
I don't know what that is.
What's is a Chad like a Karen? Is that like the opposite? Trail Chad. Trail Chad is the atta girl. Oh,
okay. So good. Oh,
good job.
Good girl.
Hon. You're doing great, hon.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know. And like that's the one I want to like smack upside the head. So, Trail Chad. So I think I think crashing, especially when you're a new rider, it's that can kind of knock the wind out of the sails pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I think though how we support the girls. So, and we're not at-a-girling, but I'm also not like, toughen up, let's go. It's, obviously it's safety first and we're all carrying our first aid kits and all that good stuff. But just kind of teaching them like the best thing you can do is get back on the saddle, get back on the horse, get back on the whatever. It's like, and pedal along. And then I see them come back the next week. So, and then I've even had girls be like, do you see my scar? And I'm like, that's freaking cool. Like, that's awesome. I'm like, you don't want to look at my knees, because they're pretty bad. Well, I think too, I have to give a shout out to Tara from Homegrown, who is a dear friend, total freaking badass, as we all know, but she's really become a very good friend, a mentor. I do some guiding for her at times, right on. Which is super awesome. So it's like women supporting women. Like my attitude is like the rising tide lifts all ships. Yep. So in that space, and I went to the Homegrown women's clinic up at Angel Fire. I went last year. Yep. And anybody that knows Jody, like that's like, those two I never thought would meet.
Downhill and Jody.
Right, downhill and Jody. I'm a single speeder, like hardtail, you know what I mean? Single speeder, rigid fork, but that's exactly where I went. So, and I went kind of in the middle of Shine Girl Shine last year and was talking to the girls about doing hard things and doing things that scare you, but like also being supported in that space. Like you don't just go launch it off of, whatever, a drop or a jump.
Yeah, Dane, you got to support me. You got to support me in this space. Don't just
Good job, boy. Good job, boy.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. B-O-I, boy. But Tara said, I will never forget that when the clinic first kicked off, she said, there's like 60 badass women around. And she said, you're going to get compliments. People are going to compliment you. And whether it's on your helmet or your bike or your riding or whatever. And the only response that you can make other than thank you is, I know, right? And my girls.
Damn it, Lacey said that to me.
Yes. My girls know that. So, and it's really, so in this vein of like the tone and kind of maybe not necessarily what's said, but how it's said, so I have had my girls, some bro dude is like, on your left, oh, good job, girls. And then my girls are like, I know, right? With hand on the hip. And I'm like, you go, girl. Yeah, exactly. That's what, yep. Creating a bunch of little baddies out there.
That's good.
So, which is right. But but again, it's in that space of, I want girls to feel powerful, and I want them to feel strong, and I want them to know their worth. So in whatever space that they're in, and that they do belong there, and whether it's on the mountain bike trail or in life or wherever it is, so they don't have to apologize for that. And when somebody gives them a compliment, and especially if it's a backhanded compliment, so it's like, that's where like that, I know, right? And I can't tell you how many times heads have turned like, oh. She's awful confident. I'm like, damn straight she is. Mm-hmm. So,
all right. What has been the biggest surprise that you've uncovered since you started Grow, Grow, Grow?
Oh man.
I love putting in the spot. I was going to send you these ahead of time. And
No,
I was like, nah,
don't. No, you got it. Yeah.
Spot.
No, it's good. How validated I have felt leaving academia. So I went and got my PhD. Like you're supposed to go to university, and you're supposed to do all these things. And guess what? I did all the things, and I checked all the boxes, and I wrote all the grants, and I did all the publications, and I did all that. And the bucket emptied faster than it was filling.
Yeah.
And
your personal fulfillment bucket.
Right. The QOL, quality of life bucket.
Yeah.
And so it is like it overflows. So in doing what I'm doing, and it's just really freaking fantastic. So I can't tell you how many powerful, like almost like bring me to tears. If not, I have been brought to tears in a good way.
Yeah.
Powerful stories that families have either told me, texted me, emailed me, all of the above, of just the life-changing aspect of what I'm doing with these girls, which is pretty awesome.
Is there a story you can share with us so you can protect the innocent and save the names? Is there one you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I do. We had a girl, who joined us in spring, the spring session, and she was, we had like one elementary school slot. I should say that the program has evolved.
Originally it was like 4th to 8th grade, and then we went to 3rd to 8th grade, and
and now I do 3rd through 5th grade, and then 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
So you've got them separate.
Yeah, I do.
Two different perspectives, two different approaches.
And my spidey sense, my mom, teacher, instructor, coach, spidey sense says, you know what, middle school girls have unique needs, and elementary school girls have unique needs, and so what I do is I design the program that the middle school girls, once they've gone through 2 rounds of programming, then they can be a mentor or a junior coach with the elementary school girls.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and that's like the next iteration is it's what's going to be called, shocker, mentor, girl, mentor. And everything's going to be something girl, at a girl. Anyway, I digress. But we had a spot open in I did the elementary middle school split in the springtime for the first time.
Yep.
And so we happened to have, I think, a spot in the elementary group. So I put it out to the families and just said, if anybody knows anybody, one of the girls' families said, oh my gosh, I have somebody who'd be perfect for it. And this young lady joined us. It's fair to say that she's Native American, and she joined pretty quiet. But like she was the one like ripping around the parking lot, like nonstop, like on her bike. Right. And so I was like, oh yeah, she's my jam. Like, there we go. and joined, had an absolute blast. And at the end of the session, no, I lie. I think it was like session 2. Mom sent me one of the most powerful emails I've ever gotten about just her daughter being the first in her family that has ever mountain biked. That she was like, I get goosebumps as I tell the story, because she was just talking about how just she went to or she was a little reticent to join, but when she did, she said, when I saw Coach Jody, the way that she was dressed in my like jorts and t-shirt and whatever, she said, I realized like I'm really just a mountain biker girl. Like I doesn't have to be, you know what I mean?
These are my people.
These are my people. 100%. Like these are my people. And so like she can show up in shorts and a t-shirt and whatever. And it's like, it's totally cool. But that's one reason why I don't like kid up. Well, I don't get up ever anymore. Yeah. But you know, I don't.
You're not wearing the Lycra.
No, exactly. And so, and I do, and I've even shown up in like regular kind of like workish pants, you know, just to show girls that like you can ride in whatever. Yeah. But yeah, the email was long and it was extremely powerful, and it was just thanking me for creating the space. So for her daughter, and then potentially for others in the future. So that was pretty awesome. It was pretty powerful. So
that's good, man.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I had a little taste of that when I ran a junior team, and just seeing those juniors honestly do something other than get in trouble.
Right.
You know, for me. And I had one years later contact me, and same thing. He's like, "Hey man, I'm now working for the railroad. I make all this money." And he was at risk. He was super close to being in gangs. Like he didn't even own a bike. So we had a spare bike that he would borrow, and it's just you get that back, and it just gives you this spark like you wouldn't believe. It makes you want to do more. So
I have one of my riders. She self-identifies as a young lady with autism, but she's got some pretty severe social anxiety as well.
Right.
And it's really powerful when you create a space where the girls wrap around each other without any instruction. I don't know how to explain it. Like if she, she's had
naturally,
like bikes are down, you know what I mean? Bikes are down. We're like literally physically like surrounding each other. And I just kind of stand back. I'm like, I'll be over here if you need me. Like, you know, but it's beautiful. It's really,
I'm going to take some pictures.
It's like, it's pretty powerful. So I've got lots of stories. And lots of grateful parents and grateful girls, and I've gotten text messages of girls on vacation shredding, you know what I mean,
That's
trails
awesome.
and stuff. And they're like, you know, so-and-so wanted me to send this to Coach Jody. And so it's like, you know, man, oh man, that just makes my heart just like absolutely burst. So I'm like, what academia, you know?
So Jody, you're not only do you have grow, but you're also coaching adults. And so I have a question. Like, what are the key differences that you tackle between coaching young athletes, young female athletes, and adult women?
What are the differences?
Yeah. What are the key differences between
Nothing.
the approach that you really?
No, I'm being serious. I brought out my 30-second dance party with like a group of ladies. I brought it within a co-ed group, and you know, people start bopping their head and you know, whatever. And before you know it, like people are laughing and they're loosening up. So I mean, yeah, there might be a little bit different tactics, but it's bringing that energy and bringing that passion. So I started.
So it spans ages.
It does 100%. I mean, I think if who doesn't want to be around somebody who's passionate about what they do? So I was listening to the podcast, Dana, when you came on. So it's like, you just talk about like, I love bikes. I'm just like, and you want like, and I mean, people call me the bike lady. They call me the, you know, whatever. It's like, I love to ride bikes, and I love to see people on bikes, and I love to teach people how to ride bikes, and I love to teach people how to safely ride bikes, and, you know, all sorts of good stuff. It's like, heck yeah. So I use that same energy in my coaching business. So.
Okay, I got a question.
Go for it.
Okay, it's not on our list.
It's okay.
So as a parent who's got two kids getting into bikes, and my biggest struggle is, and this is not just my kids, this is friends, you know, Josh, we were talking about this. Yep. I have a hard time teaching, like articulating what needs to be said to make it click in somebody's brain. Like when you're getting your coaching certifications, is there like a secret menu of like that, you know, that teaches you that, or are you constantly evolving how to help it click with people? Does that make sense?
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
Like the answer is yes. And yes, you get kind of like keywords, you know, that you can use. I'm going to offer up 30 years in education.
Yeah.
Teaching down in Douglas on the Arizona-Mexico border to teaching graduate students at Montana State University and sort of everywhere in between, has given me a pretty big tool belt of different, you know what I mean? Like, oh, all right, we're going to go side door. Okay. Back window. Okay. You know, front door. Like I'm going to try all the different strategies. Yeah. So I think that just comes from my personal experience, because I have seen people coaching and I've seen it, you know, it's painful sometimes. So when people don't come from maybe a teaching background, or just there's like the nerves are coming through or whatnot. But I think just having having a lot of tools. I've got a pretty big repertoire of strategies. And also too, that comes from working with kids with disabilities and varying disabilities from mild to super severe. So throughout the years, so I've had to be adaptable. And so I kind of feel like I have a pretty good sense of reading the trail or reading the room or reading the rider.
Yeah.
So an understanding when, I've got some riders who, we can picture a picnic bench, right? And you're putting that front wheel, I'm putting that front wheel up on that picnic bench.
Yeah.
So, and having a rider climb up on there to just feel what it's like to climb.
It's scary at the first
Right.
time.
It's totally scary. And of course, you get a Josh who's like, okay, that little pipsqueak woman, she's going to hold me up. And I'm like, yeah.
Tara did that to me, right?
Right.
Like the first thing she did, she's like, put your front wheel. I'm like, Tara, I weigh 300 pounds. Are you sure you can hold me up?
Well, and I shout out to my friend Danny, who I got my coaching my mountain bike instructor coaching certification with. So he's a big guy. Mm-hmm. So and I know we were purposefully paired. So and I was like, oh shit, like oh my god, you know what I mean? And so I mean I kept him upright and learned the tactics. Yeah. But when I have a rider, who might be a little even just trepidatious looking at me going, okay, she's really got me and, whatever. But then I also have a rider who is like, that's a hard no. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely not. And so we're putting our wheel up on the curb, right? And so I'm adjusting that way and not making somebody feel like that's any less than putting their wheel up on the picnic bench, right? Because I'm meeting that rider where they're at. And I think I do a really good job of doing that. So, and just making people feel comfortable. So in that space and like, you're badass because you showed up here, you're doing your best. Yeah. So, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. No, sorry. So, and damn, you put that wheel up on that curb, you know what I mean? Like a boss and high fives and all that good stuff. So,
so positive reinforcement,
100%,
tailoring their approach to the individual
100%.
and the big energy.
Right. I mean, it's
So there's not just a secret word that you give to everybody that makes them better.
Unfortunately, no.
I got a hypothesis.
Let's hope.
Although I have told parents, because I've had parents, be like, oh, my daughter doesn't listen to me. She won't let me tell her that. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's that magic coach dust that I sprinkle on them. You know what I mean? I carry it in my fanny pack, or my snack bag. And, we joke about it. And it's like, because I'm not their mom. So, but I'm,
that was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
My hypothesis is that our children listen to us less than they'll listen to others.
Right.
Is there fact in that?
Yeah. I mean, it's think of teachers and I'm always fascinated too. And this kind of dives into like a little more serious side of the programming in a good way is just creating that safe, supported space. And we do that really quickly. And before you know it, mostly it's middle school girls,
right?
But they will start to tell like about their day and about their God. I mean, they've shared, some pretty powerful, sad, stories. And so we've just created a space for the girls to be able to do that. But I'm always interested when they're like, oh my God, my science teacher is so awesome. I'm like, oh, what makes him awesome? Right. And and 100% of the time it's like, oh my God, he loves science. Like he's so stoked on science. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Passion is the thing.
Passion is the thing. Like it just keeps coming through. And I'm like, oh gee, I have to be stoked about bikes and stoked about girls outdoors and normalizing sweat and, all sorts of good stuff. So it's freaking awesome.
I don't like riding alone in the backcountry. I just don't like it. I don't feel safe.
Okay.
Maybe it's animals. Maybe it's guys with banjos. I don't know. But I don't go farther than 20 miles out by myself.
Okay.
Do you ride alone in the backcountry?
Fuck yeah.
And what would you advise your female students relative to riding alone?
I do. I do ride alone. I think I'd mentioned before, maybe it was earlier, I mean, when we were on break, but I rode from our house, so here in East Tucson, to Patagonia by myself.
Nice.
How far is that?
Like 90 fucking miles.
Is it really 90 miles?
It is.
Really?
Well, because I was on all single track. I was on the Arizona Trail.
Yeah.
So, and I was on a single speed. I know that shocks you all, but you know what I mean? Which really meant...
shock me at all.
Which really meant that I hiked for 90 miles.
I was going to say, it shocks me because I've seen some of the hills on the Arizona
Yes,
Trail.
exactly. Which means I did a whole lot of hiking for, you know what I mean, for that time. But that also meant some time out by myself, sleeping, you know what I mean, out by myself and whatnot. And I admittedly was terrified when I first thought of that. But I'm also in a space of, and this kind of dives into like my personal I lost my mom 14 years ago to the complications of anorexia.
Yep.
And like my mom never would have been on a mountain bike, like ever. And so it's like, I didn't start riding until I was 41. And so it's like,
wait, you're older than 41?
I'm only 42. Yeah. I've been riding for a year. Perfect. Exactly. Actually, I'm 26.
You've done great
I know,
for like 1 year of riding.
I know, exactly. Actually, I'm 26. I started riding at 41. Go ahead. Figure that math out. No, but I actually started riding when my mom died. And it was during my doctoral program and whatever. It's like, but I sort of like honor her by doing these like badass things that scare me a bit.
Yeah.
Or scare me a lot. So I will never forget when I was getting ready to do the Patagonia push. It was the last night of our spring session. And so I showed up to practice, or to our, we don't call it practice, we call it our adventures. So, because I like that word, I just think that just,
it's better than practice.
Right. Well, and it just like practice it implies like drills and skills, but no, we adventure like, and we might ride a mile, but we eat snacks and we love snacks and we do a lot of snacking. So, and that's my love language is like the snacking.
Yeah. I mean, just for the record, Jody rode here on her bike and like she starts pulling out all these things. I'm like, where the fuck did you fit all that stuff in on her bike? And she's got like a whole bag full of snacks. She's like,
I can spend I have enough to keep me like if I don't make it home tonight, I can survive for 3 days.
Depression era grandma.
Exactly. I got ketchup packets and all sorts of stuff in there. Right?
Covers are packed full of canned food in case there's a depression.
Exactly. My green beans and whatnot. But but I showed up to practice with my bike fully loaded, and I did it on purpose because I wanted the girls to see, and so the girls were just absolutely like, what the hell are you doing? What is that? Like, and I'm like, well, there's my sleeping bag and there's my tent and or I don't have a tent, I have a bivvy, but like, and like, there's my food. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to leave you. And I'm, going to say goodbye to your parents. Then I'm going to ride down the Arizona Trail towards Camino Loma Alta. Yeah. So I'm just camp on just on the other side of the park. So, and they're like, you're going to sleep out there? And I'm like, yeah, I am. So, and so, I mean, I think just being that role model. So for the girls, we, when I was when Grow was under the Arizona Trail Association, I had the opportunity to work really closely with Gear Girls, which is very similar program up in Flagstaff.
Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're thinking of Girls in Gear. That's
right.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
that's, I know her as well. She's super rad. They do road bikes though.
Yeah, roadies. Their clothes match their bike.
Yes, but but Mackenzie, who runs Gear Girls, which is up in Flagstaff, she's like my work wife, BFF. Just love her, and we used to call ourselves like the bookend the state. We would bookend the state with these girls programs, and we created these girls camps. Yep. And so like a long-winded answer is like, fuck yeah, I've been out there by myself. Have I been scared? Absolutely. Right. Have I not slept? Because like eyes are wide open because I know I heard something. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But is it like the most powerful thing to like wake up and like you look and I'm like, I have everything I need like right here. Like on like everything that I need is on my bike.
Do you carry
right
a sidearm with you?
No.
Yeah,
I can't even like fathom that. Like if I go ride just like a day ride from there because of all the things I've run into down there, I carry a sidiarm. Like, wow.
Yeah,
you're more badass than me, Jody.
I'm with
I know,
with
right?
Josh, man.
Atta girl.
I get freaked.
Okay, Chad.
Now she's gonna punch me.
Trail Chad.
Poking the bear.
Exactly. I know. He's gonna get kicked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can't do that. Like night rides are my thing because of Arizona and the heat and everything, and I can't ride by myself at night. So
I don't either.
Being out in the middle of the desert camping by myself, I wouldn't find that peaceful. I'd find it like super stressful.
Yeah. After I saw a jaguar 4 miles from where we're sitting right here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think if there was two of us, because then, and as long as I could outrun the other one,
if
I
we're
think
going
it'd be good.
totally downhill, you're gonna win.
I know he's gonna win.
Downhill,
Exactly.
I got you.
Yep. That's what it needs to be. So.
All right, Jody. Hey, what would you change about the mountain bike scene these days?
Ooh, I like this question.
Man, oh man, how much time do we have, right?
Yeah.
We need to get more women in the industry. We do.
We agree.
And I mean, I was a special education teacher, and then I went and got my PhD, and then I was a faculty member, and now I run a nonprofit, and I have a coaching business, and I coach adults and youth and men and women and children and like do all these things. And like now I want to go to like bike mechanic school because I want to be a bike mechanic. So, and then I'm going to go to bike fitting school because I want to be a bike fitter. You know what I mean? Because I think that like women, just like, so I'm like, I feel like my job is not done. And so I feel like, we need to create those opportunities and create those spaces. So for more girls to be in the industry and maybe not just riding bikes. Yep. So it's whether they want to wrench or run a bike shop or be a bike fitter or, all of the above.
Right.
So I think just we need to do a better job of creating genuine space, not at a girl space, not token space, but creating real space for girls, whether it be through mentorships or internships. That was with Grow, Girl, Grow. My vision is to create mentor, girl, mentor. And I have it all mapped out. I know this shocks you. So I have it all mapped out with research cited, and all that good stuff. But it's just the research behind creating mentoring spaces and giving girls the opportunity to be in leadership roles. And one of the things that the girls will do is they will do a community leadership project or community give back project. And I really would love it to be related to like work in a bike shop or like an internship,
right.
In a bike shop where girls could be exposed to the behind the scenes. And
she's like looking really closely at you. Dana,
I know.
Just so you know.
Like laser vision, Dana. So I'll be knocking on your door tomorrow.
By the way, she's the only person I ever met that calls you Dana.
Oh, a lot of people do.
Yeah. So I haven't heard it yet.
It's weird because for a while, because it was my Facebook profile.
Yeah.
I knew if somebody knew me through Facebook, they would call me Dana. And if they knew me outside of Facebook, they'd call me Dane. Yeah. And that's just because I didn't get onto Facebook later, and I've just always been called something else. So
yeah.
I've been called a lot of things.
You introduce yourself to me as Dane, so that's what I went with.
That's usually what I get. But on your so like while you were talking about women being included, and my brain goes through a bunch of processes, which is weird. I'm just sitting here listening to you, and my brain is just like clicking here and there. And one of the first things that I remembered is one of my first bike shop jobs. I worked at a place called Sabino Cycles in town, and it was owned by a guy named Mac and his wife, Kate. And I remember my first week there, I didn't get anything from Mac. He's a great guy, by the way. But Kate showed me around, taught me this stuff. And I will tell you that lady, she taught me more than a lot of the people I've worked for. And I was really impressed. One of the first things is she taught me was don't talk down to women. Don't talk to them any different than you would talk to your friend, right. And then she said, not all women want pink, but some do. So, which confused me, but it was true. Right. Right. And, but she was like so good at, kind of stressing, and this is decades ago. So this is not a new thing, about getting women involved and bringing them into bike shops. And I was just like, that stuck with me. That mentorship that she gave me actually stuck with me. And I feel that I've done a pretty good job of trying to keep that forward in my life. But I will agree that there's not a lot of women in psych. The reason I bring this up is, again, my brain is clicking. I don't have any women, but I know Jen at Transit. Of course. I know I know a lot, like Alex, who we want from Norco. There's so like they're there, but we need more.
Right. So we have the same problem in the defense industry, and this is what I can't figure out. Right. Like you can tell me if this is the right approach. Like I open up a requisition and I make sure that I have a representative slate of candidates. They're all qualified. And then I pick the best candidate. Yeah. Sometimes I pick a dude. Sometimes I pick a girl. I pick whoever's the best candidate. Right. Yeah. And to me, like that's the best approach. If I don't, but I force the representative slate. And if I don't have a capable, like competitive female on the slate, I won't go forward until I do.
Nice.
That to me is like the best approach. Yep. And they don't always win. And I'm not going to hire them just because they're a girl. Right. I'm going to hire the best. But I mean, is that the right approach? Like what would you recommend?
What?
I would say yes. I mean, I feel like I feel like that is the right approach. If we want to get all researchy, we kind of ticked off some stats about girls, and mostly teen and tween girls, which is what I'm really targeting with Grow, Grow, Grow. But I read this really, really sad study that talked about 71% of women who are in the bike industry leave the industry.
Yeah.
And you
Is that
can
'cause of
cite
bro culture, or is
bro culture, like you name it, right? You know what I mean? It's like, and so not all women have big, you know what I mean, to like hang in there. And, and I happen to be one of those, like, whatever, like you can bro dude and whatever, cause I'll toss it right back at you. I know that shocks you,
Yeah.
but it's,
No, it doesn't.
but I know totally. But I'm also used to being like the only female on a single speed racing against dudes because there's no, thank God
many.
there's like Melissa, from Aho Bikes,
Yep,
but I mean, still, but there's like,
I think she got gears.
It's
just
for Leadville. She got
Okay,
gears
all
for
right.
Leadville. I know.
Just saying.
But you should have gears for level, just for the record.
Right. Oh no. No, but I mean, the number of women just in the industry, is so small.
Yeah.
So, and when we look at the mountain biking community, it's like, we got this mountain biking community that's a small subculture, and then you got like this little group of women over here. And so I feel like grow. I'm doing my part to like fill that up and coming, group, and get more girls, women staying in the industry too. Yeah. So, and I think by giving them exposure to, and I'm looking at Dana, but seriously, by giving them exposure to like, this is how we rent on a bike. And this is how my husband, God help him. He's a bike mechanic.
Yeah.
And I went to go change from my clipless pedals to flats today. And he, do you want me to do that? I was like, no, I don't. Like, I would rather struggle with it, for a second. So, and I did it, Of course, then I proudly like texted in the picture, and I'm just like, done. Mm-hmm. Now I'm peace out for my bike ride. Yeah. But, but I think it's that, I think our society does lean into like, oh, let me go help. So, and it's like, no, like, how do you support? Like, how do we create that space and teach the girls and teach them how to do this? I mean, when my girls get a flat, I ain't changing it. Yeah. Like they're right there with me. You know what I mean? So helping, we spend our first session together learning about our bike and like learning how to do a proper bike check. And we go through that bike check every single time. So we learn how to put in tire pressure and put air in our tires, and we learn, all those kinds of things, because knowledge is powerful. Yeah. And so I think just creating that space, I think also too, and I know it's super cliche, but I think it's really fitting for this, is like attracts like, and a lot of women, can walk into a bike shop and they see a bunch of bro dudes back there, like they're turning around and walking right back out. Right. Because oftentimes, I'm not saying always, not you, Dana, but no,
I understand.
No, but I mean, you get somebody that comes in like, what do you mean one by what, whatever, like they, and like this lingo gets thrown out and they don't know. Yeah. So, and whatnot. And so, I think even just walking into a bike shop and just seeing another woman or seeing a young lady there. So just instantly would create some comfort for people, for women. And then just, I don't know,
I think your program is going to do more good than anything, because you have to start at that base level, younger, like mentality. Right. And that's important. I think, my story about Kate and how she kind of changed the way I do things has stayed with me, and that the more that happens, so I think it's going to always get better. Right. I do feel like there's just not enough. Like, we don't get hardly, I don't know if I've ever had a applicant, and it's not because we're not looking. It's just, I think there's a percentage, of guys versus girls in this industry, and it's not necessarily on purpose, but there's lots of things that can change. Like, for instance, one guy working with a woman, getting a different perspective because of it. And then now I hopefully am treating women differently in the shop. Right. I hope so. Like, shout out if I'm not. If I'm a total jerk, just tell me. Yeah, we can learn. Dude, but for the most part, like, I'm
going to come audit Dana's shop. Just sit there and just watch.
She's going to put a disguise on. She's going to come in with a mustache.
Just don't talk to Carlos. Mention Carlos.
We mentioned Carlos.
All right. But,
Carlos.
But seriously, it's like that little interaction, that experience with that owner, and she definitely changed me. Right. And if it's not there, it's harder. It's not like I'm running around being a male chauvinist or anything without her. It's just that in general, she really kind of clicked, and that's what we need. Right. And we need more of that. Again, I'm listening to a podcast with the NBDA, which Heather Mason took on. I don't know if you guys know her or if you've heard of her, but NBDA is an organization that helps bike shops. It helps us try and get better. And she is doing big pushes for that. And it's really inspiring to listen to her.
She's a great voice. You should share that podcast with Jody. She'll dig that.
And she'd be a great one to get in contact with because she's always trying to get more and more women in the sport, even though she's really representing this an organization that services everybody. It's not meant to be women's only or anything, but she's such a good advocate and a great example. She owned a bike shop. She races bikes, so she's great. Nice. She was one of our reps for Eddie Merckx and for Bianchi. So great lady.
We got this problem, and I don't know if it happens in the bike industry as well, but in defense, like there's this thing where like if I look at a requisition for an open job and I see a list of 10 things that are required, and I can crush it on 2 of them, and 8 of them I have no fucking clue about. I'm like, I'm the perfect candidate.
Totally,
for this role.
totally.
and I've coached like other, and you've been through this too, but I've coached like other women, and they're like, well, I only have 2 of the 8 things.
Right.
I'm like, but you got 2 of the 8 things. Go get it.
Right.
Right. And it's just a different mentality.
Right.
So it's like
right from Jody's first thing, don't say I'm sorry.
Right.
Like that is teaching a whole generation of girls to have a better mentality, to be stronger and to be just be able to take more of what they need, from life, which is great. And that's something that we need, not just in Grow Girl Grow, but we need it in our schools. We need it in band practice. We need, like everything. Jilly's in volleyball,
right?
Like all of these things, need those things started from the basics so that they grow up a different way. Because the traditions and stuff like habits. What am I thinking of? So like there's stuff that your parents teach you. I do stuff that my mom did, not on purpose. Like, and I'm like, I realize I'm doing something.
We are our parents, right?
And that's because,
oh, good Lord.
Oh, I know.
And so that happened, right? So that's 2 generations now doing the same thing. Right. And I have to actively change that if I want my next generation. I have to teach it different.
Well, and that's
very slow change.
And then you have societal norms, you know what I mean? So like overarching or undergirding, whatever way you want to look at it. And so I saw this fantastic, I don't know what you would call it, but somebody explained, they said, here's society. And it was like a big rectangle, that like literally made this rectangle. And they said, boys, men, young men, whatnot, like society says, take up all this space. Like you can be as big as you want, like take up all this space. And girls and women, like you're going to be over here and you're going to be in this like lower right-hand corner. And if you're big, remind me to tell you a story about being big. If you're big, then you're considered boisterous or you're considered obnoxious or you're considered, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, and my thing is, and I tell parents this when they sign up for Grow, Grow, Grow is like, I want girls to know that they can take up as much or as little space as they want. Like they have that choice.
But it's their decision.
Exactly. And so I have been told my entire academic life or career, and even as a teacher, to literally I've been told to temper the Jody. And like, no, you know what? If you don't like the Jody, then that's your problem. That's not my problem. And so I literally, though, like all through academia, was told like, "Ooh, you need to kind of temper. You need to temper that Jody." And I'm like, no, I don't. No, I'm passionate. I'm excited. I love life. I'm like, go big or go home. I mean, that's just me. That's my personality. And if you don't like that, that's okay. But you know what? There are some days when I do feel little and when I do want to, you know what I mean? So be quiet or whatever. And for the girls that aren't big, you know what I mean? Like what John calls me, like tiny but mighty. You know what I mean? It's like, Jody, you walk into a room, it's like, oh, but that's just my personality. Like that's just me. And it's like, if you don't like that, that's your problem. And so, but I want girls to know that like, I'm not the right way to be, but you are the right way that you.
Yeah. I'm the right for me.
I'm the right for me. And you be the right
for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you choose, but it's your choice to take up that space or not. So whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So what, like, okay. We have an underrepresented pool of candidates for both bike shops and for me in defense.
Right.
And like, if like follows like how the fuck do we change it?
Well,
like,
so
do I give stretch assignments and put people, do I choose the or maybe slightly less qualified female so I can get more representation? Right. Like, what do you do? I don't know what the right approach is.
Well, I mean, Dana, I think you hit the nail on the head. And I mean, I'm not saying like grow is like the cure all. Maybe it is. I don't know. But there we go. No.
You need to have mountain biking.
No,
but
but I mean,
she's saying
right.
you should have. They should all ride mountain
cures
bikes.
all.
Exactly,
I'm a
it
big
does.
I mean, it does build confidence for sure.
It's
right.
true.
But it's starting at that younger age. And so like my plan is actually to dip down to K2 before I move up to high school.
Yeah.
So because my attitude is if I get
them
like
young.
if I get them really, you know what I mean, really young, like I can you imagine the first grader being like, I know, right? You know, to the trail Chad who's like on the trail, you know. So I'll be like, yeah, you go, girl. But it's starting them young. It's like it's going to take a process, you know. But I think it's being part of that solution. It's like these women are not magically going to appear with like these, you know, what I mean, all these credentials for you know, what I mean, for your jobs. But if we're looking at middle school, I almost said junior high school. Ooh, dating myself there, like we're looking at middle schools and elementary schools, you know, and creating opportunities for girls, you know, what I mean, to experience the sciences or whatever it is. I think. That's where it's got to start. Like that's how the pipeline changes.
Yeah, that's kind of how society changes.
Yeah.
Like you can't just expect everybody to turn on a dime.
Right.
Some
Evolution, not revolution.
Yeah, and so, but it's small little things that do it all throughout, you know, their lives will make a big difference.
Right.
And so if they only see Jody once and then it's never supported, you know, it'll go away. But on your point, you can't expect somebody who's lived 30 years, you know, 40 years, whatever, to just change on a dime. Yeah. You can ask them, you know, and they can try, but you just can't expect it to happen.
Right.
So I'll keep sponsoring.
Yeah, you keep doing what
I'll
you're doing.
keep making sure I got a representative slate, and I'll
Right.
keep picking the best candidate.
Because
and over time, I'll have a bigger, you know,
and because your
representation.
awareness of trying
Right.
to make that is a step. And it also shows, you know, in the future, if your boss ever came to you and said, hey, why'd you hire them? Well, I was trying to get a little more diversity, you know, and I was working at it. Nobody's going to fault you for that, you know.
Well, isn't it the saying too? Was it Gandhi that said, "Be the change"? You know? I mean, it's like, I mean, that's just it. It's like you have a clear conscience, for lack of better words, you know, like knowing that you are doing the right things, you're advocating, you're an ally, you're trying. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
you're trying. And so it's like, you know, you could just turn a blind eye and be like, oh, my industry sucks. And, you know, I mean, it's nope, you know, I can't do anything about it. It's like, that's the worst thing you can do. Yeah. So, but also too, you talk about just generational, you know, I mean, conversations, and I'm, you know, kind of leaning into like, even like the disability conversation. So, and hearing people still use the word retarded or something. And I'm just like, I, you know, my head spins around. Yeah. So, and I'm like, please don't use that word. Like that is not an appropriate word. It has not, you know what I mean? It's like, so, and don't use the word handicap parking, you know, I mean, use the term like, and I've had so many people say to me, I didn't know. And I'm like, okay, well now you do. Yeah. So, you know, it's like, okay, so, and please, you know, please don't use that, but it's
going forward,
but then it's got to be very cognizant. It's kind of got to be on the refresh.
So I've seen in our society lately, there's a lot of knee jerk reactions. And so like, I was going to,
think.
And so you say something like, hey, you shouldn't say that. Then somebody will knee jerk like that, because you're kind of attacking them. And that's difficult to deal with, right? But what what does bug the crap out of me is the memes online where they'll be like, oh, you know what, I'm fine, and I didn't have seat belts, and I drank out of a hose. You know what I mean? Like those ones where people are just like, you know what, I'm I'm perfectly fine, and I don't have to. I stayed at the park all night, you know, or whatever they are, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, seat belts save lives, right? You know, like you got to realize there are some changes that you need to make. I don't drink out of the hose anymore. Right. I did when I was a kid.
I still do,
but I would, you know, I mean,
only when I'm bike packing.
Yeah, like, but you know what I mean? So like some of that stuff, people just, they need to do change, but they need to do it at their pace, and they need to not feel attacked for it to be a good change. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part we all have to deal with, because like we said earlier, it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it, you know? And if you're...
Well, and people get defensive when they, you know, we can talk about, you know, maturity does not always equate to age. No. So, and we can...
Definitely not me.
Definitely not in this room, for sure, you know?
I'm 29 and I act like
You are not
Jesus.
29. You're 72.
exactly right.
I thought he was 78.
All right. So, is the appropriate term special needs? Is that the appropriate accepted term? Is that okay?
You know, I will offer up that the appropriate term is whatever the individual chooses.
Okay.
So, you know, there was a big conversation many years ago about person first language, and we can get into this whole conversation around, you know, the person, not the disability. You see the person, you know, that's not the autistic kid. So,
It's a kid.
It's a kid. His name is Johnny, or you know, whatever it is. But then you really like you can start to get into the weeds. Welcome to my PhD. Of like just. Like especially in the autism community, so people choose their identity. So as I choose to identify as autistic, you know, I choose to identify as a mountain biker, you know, whatever it might be. And so that, you know, so it's identity. And so what I will say that I have leaned into is respectful language. So it's, and if that person wants person first language, that's what I use. If that person wants identity first language, that's what I use. But guess what? You can ask them. Like you can say, hey,
how should I refer to this?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, what's your name? I mean,
better
like
to ask than
right.
than
I'm such a I don't want to say jerk. I'm such a totally, whenever I meet somebody that has either, let's say, a disability or just in general is different from me, I want to know more.
Right.
Like, and I feel like weird because we were wrenching on a couple guys' hand cycles. So they're athletes, you know, they don't have the use of their legs, and we're working on them. And I'm just geeking out on their bikes. I'm like, this is so cool. We could do this with your bike. You know, I'm trying to put wireless on their bikes so they don't have these cables moving around on their hand cycles. And you know, I just. I'm very naive when I talk to people because I'm like, so what do you do with your legs? and that's not meant to be in any way. I'm just curious, like, how does this work? Or, you know, like, I just want to know. Yeah. I'm like a 5-year-old.
But, and that's, don't lose that. Yeah. Don't lose that because I think in all my years of experience, so, like ask the questions.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've never had anybody be like, you know, how dare you ask? It's like, thank you for asking.
Yeah, right
thank you for, for asking, because that shows a genuine interest and a genuine concern for that person.
Yeah.
So, or whether it was my student or my, you know what I mean? Whoever it was, it's like, I'm not asking to be a jerk. I want to know, and like, what's
Just
the best way for me to
curious.
support you?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, like that comes from a teaching background. So, but then then I got to teach teachers. So I got to sort of impart my wisdom to everybody.
Leading leaders.
So but that was what I would always tell them I landed on respectful language, and that's just what's comfortable for me, because recognizing that some people, particularly in the autism community and the deaf community, so people will identify as their identity is autistic or their identity is deaf, and that's a whole side conversation, another podcast. But just asking. So just how would you like me to refer to you? So,
Cool. All right. Final question for you, Jody.
Oh boy.
And it's a repeat of a question we asked you in February of 2023.
Oh gosh.
But I got a little preamble here.
Okay.
So like we've challenged each of our listeners and ourselves to help bring at least one or more new rider into the sport. Like we want to grow the sport, right? And so we're actively working, and I'm spending a significant amount of time doing that myself, is like bringing other people into the sport.
Nice.
And in episode 29, we asked you, like, what can we do to help get more females into the sport? And you gave us 3 answers. The first thing you said is, I'm just starting out. Ask me later. That was the first answer. The second answer, you said, get out of the way. But the third thing you said was help amplify our voice. So I want to ask you again, same question. You've been doing this now for 18 months or whatever. Like, what can we do to help get more females into the sport?
It's funny when you said that, the first thing that went through my head is get out of the way.
You have not evolved.
That's exactly.
Jody.
I know. I have regressed. No, I mean, move over. So Ron Bertrand, you guys may know him, rider here in town.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
We just have this huge joke. Whenever we've ridden together, we raced together.
On your left.
I've passed him. Mm-hmm. And so like when I see him, I'm like, on your left. And he's like, oh, he just jokes. I mean, totally jokes, but it's like move over so we can pass on the left. But also I would second my statement about, creating opportunities to amplify our voices. And so when you hear a family moves in the neighborhood and they have daughters, like share about grow, right? And you know, and share, you know, share opportunities. My daughter was involved with, you know, in it. So, or I know of, or here's somebody to connect with. So I think just sharing that, and sort of that rising tide lifts all ships. And so just that to me is like amplifying the voices. I can't use the excuse that I've only been doing, you know, just getting started. So I think, just to be completely honest, like when I texted you or you texted me or we were thinking about texting each other, it was like kind of this like weird, creepy sort of thing. Of you're like,
you used to call me creepy last time.
I know.
You called me creepy.
I know you, because you are creepy. But but I think
this is messed up, man.
Hey, listen, Josh. She's not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Look who's talking, Dana.
Had a rough day, man.
I'm sorry, dude.
The
I'm just
creepies
poking
come back.
you.
That hurt me for like that hurt me for like weeks. I'm like,
oh my
Jody,
God.
I'm serious. Like Jody thinks I'm creepy. Like, what am I doing? Like,
No.
Did he like reach out of the blue?
No, I actually
reached out
I
first.
reached out. I did, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of creepy, like stalker.
Yeah.
No, I reached out. And then you said, "Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you." You know what I mean? Like reaching out to you. So it was like serendipitous. You know what I mean? That we came together.
Not creepy at all.
Not creepy.
Serendipitous.
It's serendipitous, right? It's a
Was
big
it
word, Dana.
how he said that?
Yes.
Did he go, I was just thinking about
I was
you?
just. He said it in text. He said it in
Is that
text.
where
So
the
however I
That's
can
not
interpret
what I
it.
said.
Yeah,
I said Danny and I were just talking about bringing you on. Screw you. Keep going.
but I think that I reached out to you because I had this idea. I call it my executive meetings in the middle of the night, and so like hello menopause, and you know what I mean, and owning a business and running a business and creating a nonprofit. You know, your mind like you know in the middle of the night come up with these great ideas. But I had this idea about creating a podcast for my girls and just creating space, and I'm like, because the shit they say
It's funny.
is hysterical. Yeah. Like it is absolutely hysterical. And they will be like pedaling along and they're like motor mouths and like motor legs. And like, you know, you just hear all this stuff. And like, we will just sit there and like all just look at each other like, I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? And so then they'll school us on like the words to use. Like, I mean, it's just, it's awesome. And it's so fun. And so I thought the world needs more of that. Like they need to hear these like little snippets. So that's why I reached out to you. And so maybe my first, you know, or instead of I've only been doing this is like helping me find a way to amplify my girls' voices. Yeah. So
let's start. I mean, if you're cool with it, let's start by getting them on this show.
Totally.
Yeah.
And go wild. You can host it.
Okay.
Danny and I'll sit in the background and listen, right?
You guys will be cracking up.
We'll put that out.
As long as we're not creepy.
No.
Yeah, right.
No, they'll put you in your place.
We get the dance buttons.
Yeah,
that'll help.
We'll have to bring our own dance buttons.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then I'm happy to, you know, coach, mentor, like share the knowledge that I
that
have
would be awesome.
relative to all the stuff that we've learned in setting it up and the equipment and the online stuff and editing and all that stuff.
That would be
and,
so awesome.
All right. So let me give a shout out. We have a couple people in the room that we have not mentioned and have not talked. And so I just want to, you know, say thanks.
100%.
Thanks to these folks. So we have Ryan Cookta. Ryan's a senior at Micah High School, and Ryan's going through his senior year right now, and he's got to do a senior exit project. And he asked if he could do it on the podcast. And so today's the first day that we've engaged with Ryan, and he got to sit probably, he's like, Jesus, Dad, why did you do this?
He's like, he's traumatized.
I promise you won't have to sit through another recording again, right?
Yeah.
And this is like 7 hours worth of credit as far as I'm concerned. So,
exactly.
but yeah, so kudos to Ryan. I love your fucking shoes; those are awesome.
I know.
They match the Micah colors.
Yes.
I'm colorblind, so I didn't notice that. But those are sick. Are those Jordan's Air Force Ones? What are those? Yeah. Which one? I didn't hear you. Jordan's. Okay. Yeah. Those are sick. I like that. And then, his dad, Mark, and then Sonia, his mom was here. Anyways, kudos. Thanks for coming. This is awesome. Jody, do you have any final words for our guests or for our listeners?
Oh man. Just watch what we're doing. So just, we're on the gram. So we're on Facebook. So you
want to share what those are?
Yeah. So, we're grow, GRO, GRO, girl, GIRL, GRO. So grow. Yep. Facebook, Instagram. We put everything that we put out there. It's real and it's authentic. I stopped. I've got a whole slew of badass lady coaches across the country that I connect with. And a big conversation a number of years ago was about social media. And man, oh man, my type A, OCD, PhD personalities to sit there and perseverate on the, you know what I mean? Like, oh, is it the right reel and is it the right song? And
Just blast it
like,
out there.
right. And I'm just like, you know what? I gave up that, like, first of all, just for time, but also too, I'm just like, I just put out the raw and real. And it's like, sometimes I posted the same picture twice, whatever. I'm like, I don't care. It's like, it's just, this is what we're 30-second dance partying. We're snacking. We wear mismatched socks. And so we do that because we can, because it's silly and it's fun. And like, you'll see my girls in jorts and mismatched socks. It's freaking awesome. So we're excited to grow. We're going to have 3 overnight camps, one in October, one in November, one in December. So I'll get
for our international listeners, that makes sense in the weather climate that we have
exactly
in the desert.
In the desert, exactly. And so the girls will learn how to bike pack, which means kind of loading up their bike. It'll be a semi-supported, but we'll go for about an 8 to 10 mile mountain bike ride, and then set up tents, and they have to phone each other before they phone an adult. So to set up tents and set up kitchen and kind of come together with the flow of the kitchen and who's doing what and cleaning up dishes and all sorts of good stuff. And so then we'll the next day we'll do some trail stewardship, trail maintenance. So I'm just teaching the girls about, we use the trails, but then we give back. Yeah. So to the trails, as well. So, so I think just keeping an eye, watching us on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel,
nice,
which is like, I feel so fancy pants. So I'm like, wow. So, and God bless like amazing women in my life who've stepped forward and just offered to help. And so, have had people help me with website design and YouTube channel and all sorts of good stuff. And so, we try to keep those updated. So we're not on TikTok, and I'm just not sure I'm going to go there, quite yet. But gotta curb the socials at some point in time, right?
Yep,
so,
sure.
But yeah, I think just keeping an eye on what we're doing. So we're always looking for donations. So of course, and it's a nonprofit. We keep our costs.
Do you have like a donation link on your page?
We do. Yeah, awesome. It's on our donation page. It's on our website, so you can go straight to donate. I'm super stoked. We got a very generous donation of a cargo van donated. So
that's pretty awesome.
Which is really awesome. And it's actually like semi built out, to camp in. And so, I won't be hauling any girls. So in it, but, we raised money to wrap the windows. So with our logo, and the Tucson community stepped up and we raised all the money. Nice. So to wrap our windows. So Cirrus Visual, local business, is going to do it for us. Cirrus. Yeah. So Chris and Brad have been fantastic over there. And so and it's kind of like our mobile, we're calling it like our mobile clubhouse or our mobile, spot. So that way we can sort of move around Tucson. And I want it to be sort of like when the girls see the van, like they see the Guru bikes, van, it's like, and so when it's at the trailhead, the biggest thing we're having a difficult time with is coming up with a fun tagline. And so,
Take the space.
I don't think that like where girls can rule the world would be appropriate. So, but,
I'm sure you could figure out something.
Yeah. So we've got, our board of directors we're having some good dialogue about just some fun things. And one of the front runners is girls rule and confidence leads. And so, so cool. It's just, just kind of, we don't want it to be like confidence, community, connection, because people are like, what is that? Yeah. So it was like, we wanted to be something sort of fun, but about the girls. So we'll see. But yeah, the van will be wrapped here pretty soon. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Awesome. Well, Jody, thanks for riding your bike over, spending some time with us. Good to see you again.
Yes, great
Glad
to see you.
we didn't creep you out too bad the first time. Only took you 18 months.
I know, exactly. Like my PTSD kicked in.
Yep, for sure. Ryan, thanks for coming out. Mark, thanks for coming out.
Thanks
Dane,
so much.
I love you, man.
Yep.
Love you too.